Bruce LeVell, he's a senior Trump campaign surrogate who says he will be attending the rally in Atlanta. Bruce, good to see you, and thanks so much for coming on. Here we are 3 weeks away from Election Day. We'll show you recent polling down in Georgia that Trump currently has the lead in the Peach State here. This is a Quinnipiac poll, according to likely voters. Keeping that momentum going, Kamala Harris, the Harris campaign now focusing on black men, the black male vote specifically, with loan forgiveness for black entrepreneurs, legalizing recreational marijuana, an opportunity agenda for black men, which again, we still don't quite know exactly the details of that. Your thoughts there on this race in Georgia?
Yeah, thanks for having me. Well, I'm a resident here for, 40 years. I'm also a business owner for 30 years. And, I did get to introduce President Trump to Georgia. In 2015, I rode with him and introduced him to the state of Georgia down in the Macon Coliseum. And here we are, Rob, 2024, doing it again. But, he is going to have a really awesome town hall today. That's hosted by Fox News with Harris Faulkner. They're going to do all women's town hall. And then after that, he's going to come over to the Cobb Galleria. And of course, it's going to be, I wish we had a bigger venue because it's already jammed up with people wanting to come. But, listen, we remember historically the success of the Trump administration in his tenure in the 4 years as him being president, especially Atlantans. Remember, that whole group with Kamala Harris, Stacey Abrams, and all of them, they boycotted the All-Star game and many other crazy policies that Atlantans and Georgians remember. So he's to your point, he is going to talk about the economy. Listen, we have 80,000 tenants, should I say, that are on the eviction notice here in Atlanta. That's something people don't understand. And the reason why is because a lot of the inflation is gone so high and the wage has not moved at all. So it's straining a lot of the households here. So this is going to be his delivery today to Georgia.
All right, we'll be watching this evening. Also, someone who stopped by the Peach State was former President Bill Clinton. And actually, the topic of illegal immigration came up, discussing the death of the Georgia University nursing student Laken Riley, who was killed by an illegal migrant while she was out for a jog. The former president sort of acknowledging that this could have been avoided. Let's watch.
You had a case in Georgia not very long ago, didn't you? They made an ad about a young woman who'd been killed by an immigrant. Yeah, well, if they'd all been properly vetted, that probably wouldn't have happened.
Yeah. So, Bruce, your reaction to that? He'd gone on to blame, Trump and Republicans for not passing this bipartisan border bill. But if you look at the timing of it, it's off base with when that was being proposed and when it could have passed, and unfortunately, the timing of her death.
Well, yeah, I actually put that on X. He actually told the truth, Emma, so he's not lying. I hope he stays on the trail longer and tell more truth about this dismal, administration that the Biden-Harris is running. So, listen, my children went to University of Georgia. I have a lot of friends there. It was a very emotional time with Laken Riley, what happened. And Bill Clinton's right, and it's just common sense. You allow our borders to be flooded with millions and millions of people. God knows who's here. And this travesty happened. So, yes, he's absolutely on the nose. So I hope he takes that message on the road. We need more of that real truth coming from the Democrat Party, especially a former president, that he'll tell more truth.
Sure.
So.
Sure. Yeah, immigration, border policies, that is the #2 issue as far as likely voters as understood here. Again, wearing a Harris Walls hat, but saying if proper vetting had happened, perhaps Laken Riley would still be with us.
Yeah.
Paraphrasing. Bruce LeVell joining us. Bruce, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.